Hi everyone, if you hadn't seen my last video, this is a traffic signal I just got. Please go check that out if you are interested in viewing about it. A little quick update, I will be doing a traffic signal video in the future of another signal that I'm going to be obtaining, but for now that remains a surprise. For right now, we're going to take a break from traffic signals and go back to our usual street lights. Right here in my nice chair, I have this American Electric 115 street light. Let's go ahead and review it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. So this is my 2018 American Electric 115 175 watts pulse start metal halide street light. So this is kind of a re-review just because I actually had made a video about this exact street light before. In that video, however, I was just starting out in streetlight collecting, and I had a few errors that I had made in the video where I mismentioned certain things that it was able to do. Now I won't get into those, but since that video, I went ahead and actually painted this light and added a plastic lens because it actually just had a glass lens. And since then, it was stored away, but I wanted to do a new video about it, and when I got it back out of storage, it had gotten ran over. So the door was damaged, the lens was destroyed, and the photocell I had assigned for it also broke as well. So unfortunately, the one I got damaged. However, I went ahead and found a whole new body shell to rebuild this light again, and I decided since the original one had a glass lens, why not put back on a glass lens? I went ahead and put this glass lens on that you see right now, and I'll show it to you guys in a second when we go into the light in more detail. But as of right now, this light is completely rebuilt from the damage that has been done, and now that it's completely rebuilt, I think it's a good time to review it. So, a little history on the American Electric lights, just for those who are newer and don't know much about street lighting. These lights were made in 2003 after the 113 design. And really all they did was kind of extend the bottom part of the door right here so that I guess it could fit bigger ballasts. Now, a lot of people don't like that, as they think it makes the light look weird. However, I don't think it changes the light that much. And if anything, really, it kind of looks more like the American Electric 13000. That was actually a light that was made back in the 1960s that had kind of a look of a Westinghouse Silverliner. However, it had basically the same type of shape, and it was much longer, and it was painted silver. So in a way, I would say that American Electric has kind of stepped back, made their 115 look a little bit more relevant to the 1960s design, which I guess is fine. So far, since these lights have been manufactured, they've made them pretty much in every kind of vapor except for LPS. There's actually induction versions of these lights that exist, and they've made them in mercury vapor, high pressure sodium, and metal halide, as well as pulse start metal halide, which is actually a current option as of 2021 that you can get for these American Electric 115s. Now, you can't get it in metal halide apparently, but you can also get it in high pressure sodium as well. So there's a lot of things kind of going on with this light in regards to its more recent history, but there's not much past history. This light has basically stayed the same since it was remade in 2003, and I think really the only minor changes that it's had over its time is how the ballasting has been mounted inside it. And one thing I'll note before we get into this is the components in this light, even though they do make these in pulse start, this does not have its original components as well, as those also got partially damaged from the accident that this light was in. So again, like I said, I pretty much just rebuilt everything, so I also had to rebuild the components inside as well. But this light works pretty much exactly like it should, and since American Electric releases this light in this type of vapor, I think it's still cool that it runs this vapor. And it's a little bit more unique too. as we are currently in a time where LEDs are taking over, and basically pulse dart metal halide is an alternative, and these pulse dart metal halides will be kind of rare probably someday. So now, I used to live in Cincinnati, as some of you viewers might know, and as of right now, and I'm not sure if they still do this actually to this day, but when I got this light, they were actually putting in these pulse dart metal halide 115s down there as a replacement to mercury vapor. Now, as for LED, Cincinnati is very weird about having LEDs, about how they have their LED areas installed, where they have all their LED fixtures, you know, the areas they choose to put them up. They are pretty conservative when it comes to their street lighting, so they put these up instead, and I don't know what the reasoning is for that, but it's at least nice to see that they stick with some older HID lighting rather than the new modern plain LEDs. So I'm sure the entire time since I've been talking, you've been dying to see this light. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking about all that other nonsense, and let's go ahead and get into this light. All right, let me crawl over here real quick. One thing I really like about this light in general, like I've already mentioned, is its nice design. It's pretty streamlined as it's always been, and not really much has changed other than this lap under here. But again, it's, in my opinion, I don't think it's a problem. And this is the photocell I just took out. This is a Fisher Pierce Sun Tech photocell from 2013. A nicer, newer photocell that goes with it, I think, really well. I actually like blue photocells on these lights as well. So this is one I chose. Now, even though the light's newer than the photocell, this is a brand new photocell, which unfortunately does have a scuff on it. And before I painted it, I actually had a perfect condition one of these as well, which unfortunately got broke, but that's okay. I'm glad I at least have another one that's for the most part in good shape, and this one goes with this light. Here is our photocell socket on top. I'll go ahead and pull the light up so you can see that. There's that nice heat shrinking design. And here's our photocell. Nice clean mold photocell, and basically to twist it, to put it in the position that you want, you just lift, and then when you let it back down, it pulls itself back down. Just lift, turn, and when you're done turning, like I said, just lift it back down. General Electric actually had this design for quite a long time, since the 90s on their lights, and I guess in 2003 American Electric just decided to copy this as well. So pretty nice though, I do like that. Let me go ahead and flip the light over here, and let's go ahead and open it up. To open up our light fixture here, there's this latch right here. Basically you just pull this back, it comes unclipped from its latch. Pull it back here a little bit. To take the door off, you just go up and over, and you lift up on the back, and it pretty much just slots out. So pretty nice, easy. Most of the newer streetlights are like this. And that is our door. Let's go ahead and look at the door. All right, here's our door. Really nice. The metal on these streetlights, for the most part, is pretty good. I do have a gripe, however, and I will mention it when I get to the hinge here. But for the most part, the molds on the metal are pretty much clean. The paint that they do put on these can sometimes be a little rough and really glossy, but this one's actually fine. This one's not too bad. And that really doesn't matter as much as long as the quality and the, integrity of the light's good. But other than that, nice door. You can see these two holes here that stick out. This is actually for a level gauge to go on these lights. However, I've never seen a level gauge installed on these before, but I've seen them on the 125 models. Pretty nice. Your lens slots in right here. You can pretty much put any kind of lens you want in this light that are made for smaller luminaires. This is our clip right here. You can see that hook. Pretty much a simple spring design that's just screwed down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and go on the outside here. You can see, again, just that basic detailing. This is the NEMA sticker here. Now, this isn't the original NEMA sticker. The shell was from this was originally an HPS light that I got the shell from. So I took the sticker off, made a replica sticker. Now, I'm trying out a new glossy print printable inkjet type paper. However, if you get cleaning materials on it, it'll actually mess the ink up. But I'm going to repaint this light again, so I'll just make another sticker. But this is your NEMA sticker, and this is pretty much what it looks like. Just a very simple sticker. You can see it's striped horizontally for pulse start metal halide. There are different versions of metal. Just so you guys know, there are different versions of pulse start metal halide, but I won't get into that. Basically, to take your lens out here, you pull that back, and yeah, it just comes off really easily here. So your lens, when it goes back on, just has kind of just fits in those slots right there, and you'll see when I put it back on. And yeah, this thing's very lightweight. My heaviest street light is my Line Materials Unistyle 1000 here, and that light I can't even lift by myself. But this, compared to that, probably weighs nothing compared to me or street light over there. Alright, go ahead and look at our lens. So I'm a little confused about this lens. It is a nice lens, don't get me wrong. The mold is very smooth, very clean. It's very clear. I love this lens a lot. Now, American Electric made their lenses in this design, and Halide was called upon to make the design for their streetlight brand. But later on, I think when the 115 was released, I haven't seen any with this American Electric style lens. I guess they just quit making them, they cheaped out. But later on in the 2010s, somewhere around 2011, Cooper Lighting actually acquired this design somehow, and I don't know why, but they started using it on their Cooper OVZs and their OVXs. And funny enough, if we look at the rim here, there's absolutely no markings of any branding of any sort. This is an unmarked brand lens. I don't know if it's made by Halide or not, but this is the American Electric 13 style lens that goes on their lights. And there's actually one detail that's missing. There's supposed to be a little rim, little design detail right here for the light pattern, but they actually didn't put it on this version. So I don't know if this is a knockoff or if Halide actually made these, but if anyone knows down in the comments, just please let me know. I know Cooper had these on their lights for a while, and then they actually went back to the diamond prismatic style lens. But occasionally I'll see the OVXs put up still in HPS, and sometimes they will have this lens on it. So I don't know if they just quit when they had quit making the lenses, if they just had extras thrown around, they couldn't make any more of the regular ones, so they just threw these on, whatever they had left. But I still see these sometimes. Or this just might be a type of option that Cooper has for their streetlights still. So if anyone knows, just let me know down in the comments. But this pretty much is like a rip-off version of the American Electric 13 lens. And they did use these on the 113s as well. I actually have a rare 4-way version on this American Electric 113 over here. That one I'll probably do a video on in the future sometime, but as of right now I don't have any intentions or plans on doing so. But yeah, so again, if anyone knows, just let me know. But other than that weird thing about this lens is extremely nice. It is very high quality. And since it's an American Electric style lens, I decided when I decided to put this lens on my American Electric 115 here, and I actually think it looks really great, and I'm shocked that American Electric still doesn't put these on their lights as of today. But it's too bad. I think it's kind of a missed opportunity for them. But let's go ahead now that we've seen that. Let's look inside the fixture. Right here you can see the hinge. One problem with these I've noticed is the metal does unfortunately get weak at the back here, and these chunks of metal here can actually break. So far this one's fine, but this is a newer one, so it hasn't really had a chance to get worn out yet. But other than that, everything else on the fixture usually stays intact. But if you're ever opening up your American Electric lights, just always try to be careful, because the last one I actually had, I opened it and I had it at an angle by accident, and I actually already had chipped it off. So definitely be careful with this, as this section is fragile, unfortunately, because of the low quality build. But moving on into the light here, you can see you got your clip here and your bolt, so you can slip it onto the arm, your slip fitter clamp, and you got nice steps here to help pivot your light either up or down, depending on how you want your light distributed. And then you got a ground screw here, which usually no one ever uses. Going up here is our ballast assembly. Now this is a retrofit ballast assembly kit that I put in this light since the old one got damaged. So I'll go ahead and talk about that real quick. So the ones that the American Electric 115s actually come with are actually made by Halide. They have a Halide brand transformer igniter, which is actually like one of those soap sponge igniters where it's like that like brownish clear color. It's kind of weird. I think that's what they call it. And then it actually comes with just a standard oil-based style capacitor. This one doesn't have that. It just has one of those special regulated capacitors, which I will show you in a sec. But basically, that's usually what these come with. But this right here is actually a universal pulse start metal halide kit that I installed in this light. And what's really cool actually is this transformer fits perfectly on this ballast clamp right here, which is awesome. But the only issue I had was actually trying to put these in the correct spot. I couldn't figure out where the bolts come exactly because there's not a lot of places to screw onto in this light, but I went ahead and finally figured it out. But anyway, let's go ahead and just kind of go over the basic operation here. This is a photocell light, so from your hot, you got hot light here going down to your photocell, and then you got your red wire right here that I'm kind of flicking. That goes up to your transformer assembly here, and then all your wires splice together, and they do all their pulse start metal halide magic. And then of course you got some neutrals that come off, and again you got your capacitor. And since this is pulse start metal halide, you need an igniter. So it's kind of like high pressure sodium. The bulb basically just needs to have a strike to it to get the lamp to ignite, and then from there it warms up and your light turns on. So very, very simple setup. And this one here is multi-tap. Of course, the Halide versions that actually come with these lights are also multi-tap as well. And they basically just hook up to your normal sets of voltages, your 120 to 277. So pretty nice. Of course, you got your socket terminal here for all your connections. These socket terminals are okay. I notice sometimes these screws for some reason stick and then they strip out for no apparent reason. But so far this one has been okay and hasn't done that yet. And yeah, let's go ahead and go up towards the reflector here. Sticking into our reflector here is our light socket. It's just a Moggle based socket, and there's a slight bit of room for adjustment, but really you can only move it backward or forward, and you can really only move that socket up into a higher or lower position. So that's pretty much all you can do with that. Not much going on there. And usually these pulse start metal halide lights have a sticker, and since this one was originally HPS, this unfortunately still has its original sticker. I'll put up in the video what the sticker actually looks like. I actually made a replacement sticker as well that has the exact font size and printing that it would if it was actually made. So went ahead and made a new one, and in the future when I go to repaint this, I will peel this one out and put that new one in. So you can see that this fixture itself was made in 2017, so actually this wasn't made in 2018. I realized I said that at the beginning of the video. So this is a 2017 115. Anyway, no big deal. We make mistakes. One mistake that I guess you could say does happen in here is the gasket. Sometimes these felt gaskets do come undone. As you can see, the adhesive is coming off, but luckily this one has stayed in here and has not fallen out yet. I've seen lots of these where they come out. They're pretty cheap. And honestly, I would prefer the old rubber ones that kind of slip right into the reflector, just because they're a lot nicer quality and they last longer. But not really a huge gripe. This is a small Cobra head, so it's not really a huge problem. But basically, this again just keeps your water out, keeps moisture out, and just keeps the inside of this reflector nice, so your bulb and so that your light bulb is safe and sound. There's just one screw holding in this reflector, and this It's just a pressed aluminum reflector. It's not too special, but for the most part, it's pretty nice, and I like it a lot. Right here is the little notch where your clip hooks onto when your door is shut. This is just a little piece of steel here, nothing special, and that's pretty much it. The American Electric 115 doesn't really have too much going on, but I do like that there are pulse start metal halide versions of this light that exist, just because it's pretty unique to see this this vapor in this type of fixture, especially to this day. So really cool. Even though nothing's really original here, this is pretty much how your setup would be for the actual pulse start metal halide versions. Even though this light isn't completely original to what it was, it does still run, of course, the same bulb, and they're actually very easy to make. So for any collectors who do want to make one of these lights, you know, it's pretty easy. So now let's go ahead and put everything back together here, as I kind of have it spread out at the moment, and let's go ahead and get this lamp warmed up. Now, of course, pulse start metal halide does take its own type of bulb. This right here is a standard metal halide lamp. It is just a Philips 175 M57 lamp, and I see it's not entirely focusing, but you know, you can get the idea. So this is your standard metal halide lamp that'll go in any street light that has a red NEMA sticker on it. So pretty basic, but of course pulse start metal halide is a little different. So this one is just a Precision Lighting and Transformer brand bulb. I actually got this off a website called 1000bulbs.com, and they sell all sorts of different lamps for any of your HDI needs, and they get lamps through manufacturers that still make them, which is really cool. So a pulse start metal halide fixture requires a M137/E bulb, and I think there's another one called M125, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'll go ahead and put that that label sticker back up on the screen just so you can see what it said. But there's a couple different types of pulse start bulbs that can actually go in this fixture, and this is one of them right here. So I got this brand new precision bulb offline for my pulse start metal halide fixture. But anyway, let's go ahead and screw this in and get started. Alright, I got my American Electric 115 hooked up. Alright, let me go ahead and shut these curtains here, turn some lights off, and we can get started. Alright, let's go ahead and plug her in. This is my 2017 American Electric 115 175 watts pulse start metal halide in 1, 2, 3. Alright, that came on very, very quick. Let's go ahead and watch it warm up. Alright, we are at full brightness, and one thing I had to do was stick a little piece of tape on the photocell after it had gotten full brightness, because I realized it'd be too bright for the photocell if I tilted the light to the side to show you it turn off. So with that done, let's go ahead and show you this. This light is pretty bright for a pulse start metal halide 175 lamp. It actually is probably just about as bright as 250 watts high pressure sodium or mercury vapor. So really cool. And that's kind of the nice thing about pulse star, is it does burn just a little bit brighter than your normal pulse start metal halide, but it does dim a bit quicker. Pretty cool. I do like this American Electric, or rip-off American Electric style lens on this light. Let's go ahead and bring the camera forward, and we can look at that lovely sine wave. Oh yes, my floor is going to be super faded soon. You can see it's really bright, and actually I kind of got to block my point of view from it. You can see that nice lamp in there. And pretty much, yeah, it is a basic refractor, but Really cool, actually. I do like that, and you can see that light that's coming off is very clean and white. Usually mercury vapor appears green on camera, and high pressure sodium appears more of a light orange rather than the dark, or rather than the nice standard orange light that it gives off. But for the most part, this one is very, very clean. Since it burns very, very brightly, you can probably see that arc tube in there is kind of lit a little bit, but with it being so small, it dims out pretty fast, so yeah. Anyway, I am really, really, really pleased with that. Alright, I went ahead and got the light unplugged, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This light doesn't have too much going on, but it is a very nice, simple light, and for the most part, it's a pretty good quality. Like, American Electric has always had pretty good quality luminaires, and as for the LED stuff that they currently make, it is very, very, very high quality, like it has always been. So I'm very happy I reviewed this light. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And if there's anything interesting that I haven't mentioned about the American Electric 115 here, please feel free to share your opinions down in the comments below. And again, I thank you for watching, and everyone have a good day.